Our next session speaks to truth many women in midlife are just beginning to understand. Fatigue is not failure, it's a message. Dr. Madea Allen is a doctor of East Asian medicine, licensed acupuncturist, holistic health coach, and the founder of Organic Soul Chef and the Organic Soul Energy Shift program. Known as the Energy Doctor, she supports women over 40 who have spent years caregiving, achieving, and overgiving, and are now ready to reclaim their energy without burning out again. Blending Eastern medicine, nervous system regulation, nutrition therapy, and soul-centered coaching, Dr. Madea helps women to understand why pushing through exhaustion makes things worse and what it truly takes to restore calm, clarity, and sustainable vitality. Her work features burnout as a signal from the body and soul, inviting women into a new way of living rooted in balance, self-trust, and flow. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Madea Allen from Fatigue to Flow, How to Regain Energy Naturally in Midlife.
Greetings. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am blessed to be a part of the Midlife Awakening Virtual Summit for women over 40 who are seeking a higher way of living and being and existing in the world. I am happy to be presenting From Fatigue to Flow, How to Regain Energy Naturally in Midlife. I am Dr. Madea Allen. I am a Chinese medicine physician who helps burnt out women over 40 to feel energized naturally through the everlasting energy blueprint. If you are tired but wired, if your mood feels unpredictable, if sleep isn't restoring you the way it used to, I want you to know that nothing has gone wrong. Your body is not failing you. This is sacred communication from the body, asking you to relate to energy in an entirely new way. Often, midlife is the moment when the old way of living simply doesn't fit anymore. Therefore, burnout, fatigue, exhaustion, it's just an invitation to step into a higher way of living and being. So, what is the midlife energy reality? Many women over 40 experience mood swings, anxiety or overwhelm, poor sleep, brain fog, emotional reactivity, deep exhaustion, feeling bone tired. And we're often told that this is just hormones, or this is what happens when you age, or this is stress that you should really learn how to manage better. But burnout doesn't start in midlife. Midlife exposes it. It reveals where we've been living on override for a very long time. So what midlife does is magnifies a chronic pattern that has been at play for a very long time. So what is burnout? Burnout is a nervous system stuck in survival. It's not just feeling tired. That's just one expression of it. But oftentimes, women who are burnt out, they are in overdrive, overreactive. So it's not just feeling tired. It's actually what happens when your nervous system has been in on mode for too long. The fight or flight part of the nervous system is an override. Motivation doesn't fix it. Willpower doesn't fix it. You can't will your way out of burnout because burnout isn't simply a mindset problem. It is a state of being problem. It is chronic stress without the opportunity for recovery. It is consistently giving from empty reserves. It is constantly trying to pour water from an empty cup. And here's why pushing makes it worse. This is why I see in so many women that I help, the notion is, oh, I can't stop. I have to keep pushing. I have to keep moving. And what this powering through does, it is keeping your cortisol levels elevated, that stress hormone elevated, disrupting your sleep. Powering through drains your emotional reserves, dulls your connection with that deep, sacred, quiet knowing, your intuition. And high achieving women are especially vulnerable. You've been the strong one for a very long time, pushing, effort. This has been a way of being for you. This is how you have reached the level of success you have reached. But strength without restoration becomes depletion. At some point, your body stops responding to effort. And that is not failure. That is actually the body's wisdom to signal to you the way that you're doing things has reached its limit. So it is deep wisdom from the body, this condition of burnout. So it is to see it as a blessing in disguise if you have the ability to pay attention and listen to what the body is really asking for. So the hidden root of burnout is these limiting beliefs and attitudes that drives this behavior of operating out of fear, of constantly giving and under receiving. These limiting beliefs and attitudes have been born out of survival. Like, I don't need help, or I have to hold it together. Everybody's depending on me, the strong one, to keep it together. I can't slow down. Rest is selfish when so many are depending on me. Rest is laziness. And these are not personality traits. Again, they are survival strategies. So don't get me wrong, these things, these ways of being and thinking, they have once protected you. They help get you through very challenging circumstances. But now they're costing you your energy. And this is where mood swings, anxiety, and burnout actually happen. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because you've outgrown these old rules that you were once living by, outgrown these periods of great strife and challenge. So you are still living in that reality and that consciousness. And it's really time to let it go. So I'll share a little of my story. I've lived the burnout that I now help women to heal. And not one episode of burnout, but I've experienced several cycles of burnout, moments of life where I've had great grief and loss and consistently overworking out of survival sake. The breaking down, recovering, but then slipping back into the same patterns when life pulled on me again. Each moment of burnout that I've experienced, I've gone deeper and deeper into the emotional, the limiting beliefs, the limiting attitudes that have driven the behavior that have caused the burnout. So each moment of burnout was a sacred understanding of my subconscious way of being and thinking. One moment of the deepest burnout for me, the hardest part about it was I wasn't able to generate my own joy like I usually did. I was usually able to do things to get myself out of it, take enough walks or eat enough, high fiber foods and greens and speak to the right people. But this particular cycle of burnout, it felt like nothing would really stick. And the blessing of this moment of burnout is that I had to understand that my awareness needed to change. So it wasn't learning more things to do on the outer, but it was really shifting the inner terrain. It was realizing that I couldn't keep living from the same beliefs and identities and expect a different result. So, in essence, I was rewriting my very own limiting beliefs. So, I did need help. I didn't have to hold it all together. I can slow down. The world will not fall apart when I rest. Rest is not selfish, it's not lazy. It's actually the most loving thing that I could ever do for myself. So, me trying to fit into these old ways of pushing and not asking for help, it was like an old pair of clothes that I was trying to fit myself into, but it just wouldn't work. Trying to squeeze myself back into these limiting beliefs was confining, constricting, exhausting. I am so grateful for Linus and creating this summit and calling it the Midlife Awakening Summit. It's not a crisis, but it's an awakening. And that's exactly what happens when we have these challenges in our health, burnout included. What is an awakening? An awakening is the process of dropping from the head, just living from the mind, but dropping into the body, into a lived, embodied experience. Awakening is releasing what no longer fits, releasing what no longer serves. Awakening is trusting your inner guidance, your inner communication, your deep wisdom, inner signals. Awakening doesn't mean finding what's wrong and fixing yourself. It's just realizing that you are expanding and growing. Old ways no longer fit. Old stories, old expectations, the old version of who you thought you had to be are no longer. So when you try to squeeze yourself back into them, the body reacts. There's tightness, constriction, exhaustion, anxiety, depression, burnout. And that discomfort that we feel, it isn't wrong. It's just a signal of growth that we have expanded into more. Awakening is again dropping out of the head and into the body. Stop second guessing yourself. When you trust what your inner signals have been trying to tell you, it is a process. And the pivotal shift happens in an instant. It's not someday, it's right now. So, how do we move from fatigue to flow? Flow is not hustle. Flow is safety, it's creating safety in the body. It's activating the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest part of the nervous system. Flow is returning when we are lowering our cortisol levels naturally through a life that truly feeds us. Flow returns when we are rebuilding trust within ourselves. Flow is when your body feels safe enough for the nervous system to relax. Flow is born out of alignment with your truest, highest self. It's not about positive thinking. It's not about forcing change. It's living from what's real for you now, not from illusion, the past, or outdated expectations. So, the path of burnout is through very simple, everyday, healthy habits. You have to understand that burnout is not necessarily a motivation problem, but it's an energy imbalance. So when we are aligning with the best things for us energetically, this is how we restore and recover our energy. The path of burnout must be lived, must be an embodiment. You don't think your way into a new reality. You live your way into it step by step through breathing, nourishing, moving. So, the first pillar, breathe. Breathing is a sign of life. This is what we do when we are first born, coming into the world out of the womb. We take our breath, and there is life. The breath is sacred, it regulates the nervous system. It signals safety. It calms the stress hormones. Most women over 40 who are struggling in burnout, they breathe very shallowly all day from the upper part of the body. And that keeps the body in survival mode. Breath is the fastest way to change your state of being. It's not necessarily just relaxing, it's reclaiming nervous system regulation. You're signaling safety. And I will tell you that every pillar that I will discuss, breathe, move, nourish, they are multidimensional. There is, because we are multidimensional beings. We are physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. These are all a part of our makeup as multidimensional beings. So while there is physical breath, the breath that you breathe through your lungs to help calm and regulate the nervous system, there is also a very deep spiritual aspect to breath. When I'm with clients, helping them to really maximize and leverage the opportunity that breath has for us, I always ask the question, are you allowing that which breathes you to do so? We are breathing, but there's a larger consciousness that is breathing us. So tapping into that sacred breath. I see breath as vital waves of substance and sustenance from the great I am. So in this way, we are being deeply resourced through our breath, not just physically, but of course, emotionally, mentally, and ultimately spiritually. For me, breath is also about creating space in our bodies, creating space in our mind, creating space in our spirits, creating spaces in our days, allowing our days to just breathe. And when we're not feeling, we're able to take a deep breath that's confining, that's constricting, and that's cutting us off from the source of all energy. So in this moment, I invite you to connect to the sacredness of your breath. Take your left hand and place it the center of the chest. You may start to feel your heart beating through the palm of your hand and just connect with that. Allowing the breath to just flow inward and outward naturally. And now I invite you to place your right palm on the lower abdomen, right below the navel. So just observing what it is you are noticing in this moment as your left palm is placed at the center of the chest and right palm at the lower abdomen. And you'll take a deep breath in from the lower abdomen. We're doing deep abdominal breathing. As you're inhaling, you're allowing your abdomen to expand like a big balloon. And as you exhale, you're allowing that abdomen to contract. Again, inhale, exhale, inhale, feeling that right palm rise as the abdomen is expanding. Again, exhaling, allowing the abdomen to contract, and the palm is getting lower. Just breathing at your own pace. Connecting with that which is breathing you. And take a deep inhale and exhale. And relax the palms. I invite you to open your eyes, and we're going to move into the next piece of moving from flow to fatigue. So it's move. Moving is about allowing your the circulation of your energy as well as the circulation of your emotions, which are energy. Emotions are energy in motion. Moving, circulating improves sleep and mood. Moving restores confidence. Burnout is often a result of stagnant energy, holding on to things in the body, holding on to old emotions that have gone unprocessed, unacknowledged, holding on to outdated beliefs, thoughts, attitudes, holding on to a smaller version of ourselves. All of this can contribute to the experience of burnout. And I'll remind you, burnout movement doesn't need to be intense. It just needs to be intentional. When you move with awareness, you're telling your body that it is safe to be in motion again. And that changes everything. Movement is allowing the larger circulations of blood and fluids and air, but also allowing for the microcirculations of energy. So together, micro and macro circulations allow for a greater and higher expression of health. And next we have nourish. Nourish is foundational of building our cells, building healthy organs. Nourishing yourself helps you to stabilize your mood at the root. Good nourishment balances blood sugar, supports hormones. Mood swings are often blood sugar swings. Exhaustion is often depletion, not weakness. Nourishment will support your biology in midlife, stabilizing the mood, steadying your energy, and grounding you back into your body. We find ourselves in the season of winter. And as a Chinese medicine physician, I operate from the 5 element theory when coaching clients around how to eat appropriately. As the seasons change, so does the best choices for us nutritionally. So right now in the winter, I'm encouraging my burnout clients to eat warming foods, cooked foods, nourishing foods, dark colored foods, dark leafy greens, black beans, seaweeds. These foods are going to help nourish and tonify the kidney, which is the site of our deepest energy reserves. So I have a free gift for you. It is the cortisol reset guide. What this does is calms your stress hormones naturally. I created this cortisol reset as a bridge from awareness to action. This allows you to take daily action to ground yourself into your next best expression of health. This practice is gentle, it's grounding, it's nervous system friendly. It allows you to clear out of your body, mind, spirit energy that no longer serves you. Now, real change happens when you stop fighting your body and you start working with it and showing up lovingly for it and to it every single day, consistently, without fail. And I am happy to provide a gentle invitation. So, if today resonated with you on any level, I would encourage you to trust that burnout heals fastest in the right container, with the right community, and with the right guide. And energy returns when you stop abandoning yourself. So I encourage you to download the cortisol reset and practice it daily. And if you're ready for deeper support, more personalized support, I'm making available the Energy Wellness Assessment. It's a one-on-one session where we look at what's actually draining your energy and what your body needs to restore it naturally. As a summit gift, you may use the code MLA Summit, MLASUMMIT, to receive a complimentary session, which is normally $100. And you can scan the QR code here to book that complimentary session. If you're ready to step courageously through the door of your new life to relax into your new self, your next best, highest, most energetic self, then I invite you to scan the QR code and let's see if this is the next step for you. Thank you so much. May the blessings be.